Hi, my name is Katherine Holloway, and I will be going over the introduction portion of our presentation. Research on work burnout has shown importance in industrial organizational psychology as it has been related with a significant correlation to the impairment of job performance. The purpose of this experiment was to determine what leads to burnout among workers. Hypothesis 1 states that the clarity of outlined responsibilities is positively related to employee burnout. The rationale behind this hypothesis is that role ambiguity may lead to burnout among workers due to the fact that uncertainty of unknown expectations is a stressor among workers. Hypothesis 2 states that an increase in telepressure as a result of the growing age of technology is positively correlated with employee burnout. It was selected because an expectancy for timely responses, learning new technology, and availability outside of work has become a workplace norm around information and communications technology. Lastly, Hypothesis 3 states that an increased workload is positively correlated with employee burnout. This was chosen as work overload creates a negative effect on job satisfaction.
Hello, I am Pablo, and I will be presenting the methods of our experiment. We measured each variable based on the voluntary survey responses of people that work for pay. The survey measured burnout on a 1 to 5 scale, provided by Maslach, while measuring the independent variables on a 1 to 4 scale, provided by Rizzo, Barber, and Barnett. You can see some of the sample questions on the table as well. Now, if I shift your attention over to the left, you can see the pie chart that shows the demographics of our survey respondents. A total of 31 responses were used for our analysis, and even though the majority self-identified as Asian, the average age was 23.5 years old with a range of 42. About half were male and female, and overall the respondents had varying job titles ranging from waiters all the way to project engineers. Now if I shift your attention over to the table on the right one more time, you can see that all of our Cronbach's alpha values from our survey questions were within the recommended range, showing the internal consistency needed for our subsequent results analysis.
Hi, I'm going to introduce the results of our data, and we focus on two results. One is correlation and another one is p-value. For the correlations, we can find out that surprisingly, role ambiguity is slightly negative correlated with burnout, and another two, telepressure and worker overload is positive correlated with burnout, which means that if telepressure and overload increases, the burnout will increases. For the p-value, we can find out that only telepressure, the p-value is 0.03, it's less than 0.05, so the hypothesis is supported. However, the another two independent variables, role ambiguity and overload, the p-value is not less than 0.05, so their hypothesis is not supported.
Hello, my name is David Mitchell, and I will be presenting the discussion part of our presentation. Of the three different variables that we tested, role ambiguity, telepressure, and overload, only telepressure was supported as a variable that could potentially lead to burnout. Interestingly enough, the correlation for role ambiguity was actually negative, although it was incredibly small. The correlation for telepressure and overload were positive, with weak to moderate correlation coefficient values. Most importantly, though, our data shows that our hypothesis that telepressure can lead to burnout is supported. Our theories for the failure of the other two hypotheses revolve around several factors. For worker overload, we speculated that many of the participants were just a few years past graduation, and as a result, may not yet be burnt out, even if overload was a factor. Role ambiguity could also be impacted by how recently workers have graduated. In many cases, engineers are hired yearly into similar positions, depending on the field. And so the positions would be tried and tested, making the role ambiguity in these jobs inherently low. Overall, it was positive to see one of the hypotheses was supported, but changing the age demographic of our participants could help yield better results for role ambiguity and overload.